Look at this. This is the Volkswagen ID.BUZZ in baby leaf green combined with candy white. Perfect color combination. Really looks good. Welcome to It's Only Electric. This is where we review fully electric cars. So let's start. The Volkswagen ID.BUZZ is the biggest car in the ID series from Volkswagen. Volkswagen has really nailed it when it comes to happy and positive design. I mean, look at this positive face. Can it get more positive than this? I don't think so. It looks happy. It looks friendly. And I think that's the purpose with the ID.BUZZ. And it, of course, resembles the old iconic Volkswagen Buzz. This is the biggest car in the Volkswagen ID series. So it's 4.7 meters long and has a wheelbase of 2.99 meters. But you can tell the size by looking at the height, 1.93 meters. So the exact same height as I'm tall. And it's a wide car and you feel it when you drive it. And I feel it when I put it into my garage. Weighs in at 2.5 tons. It's a heavy car and it has a battery pack of 82 kilowatt hours of gross capacity and 77 kilowatt hours of net capacity. NMC battery, as usual, when it comes to the Volkswagen series. It has the exact same powertrain as the rear-wheel drive version of the ID.3, for instance. So driving on the rear wheels, 204 horsepower and 310 newton meters of torque. The VLTP range is up to 422 kilometers with this battery pack, and this is the only battery pack currently available for the ID.BUZZ. I guess in the future there will be a bigger battery that gives you a longer range. This specific car has a bit lower range, 408 kilometers, and that's due to the big rims, so 21-inch wheels and staggered 235 in the front and 265 at the back. Since it's rear-wheel drive, you need some more wider tires at the back and to support the weight of the car. The ID.BUZZ offers 175 kilowatts of peak power when it comes to DC fast charging and 11 kilowatts of AC charging. You can charge it from 5 to 80% in 30 minutes. So that's decent, not the best in class, but there is no other car in this class for the moment. So I guess it's good. And I know that Volkswagen has really upped their game when it comes to charging. It's getting better and better for every version. I mean, my ID.3 still has like 120 kilowatts of peak power. It also comes with vehicle to load capability, so we can actually plug in an adapter to get power out from the battery, to charge and to power other things. That's perfect when camping, for instance. But I bet Volkswagen will update the drivetrain of the ID.BUZZ later this year or maybe next year with the newly introduced powertrain from the ID.7 series with updated and more efficient motor and a slightly bigger battery pack. I think this will get closer to 500 kilometers in range. Let's see about that. This specific car is fully equipped, so it has cameras in the front, both at the top and on the bumper for the 360 view, and you see the radar and all the USS sensors all around the car for parking assistance, but also the travel assist functionality that keeps you on the road in the lane and keep the speed and distance to the cars around you. Let's look at the boot space and boot capacity. It's a really big boot with 1,211 liters of boot capacity. That's really amazing. A retractable partial shelf divider. You can remove it and stow it away. The foldable seats together with this gives you a totally flat area that's 120 centimeters wide and 2.16 meters long. This flat floor together with the vehicle to load functionality will really provide you a great camping experience. But as you see, the car seems to be prepared for a third seat row. There is some kind of armrest here already, but there is currently no 7-seater available, but I expect that to come like after the summer or maybe during next year, because this is really the perfect car as a 7-seater. It is also possible to equip the ID.BUZZ with a tow hitch, that extra not included in standard. So you pull the lever and here's the tow hitch. The tow limit is low since it's a heavy car, so the total weight is 3 tons, curb weight 2.5 tons. That leaves a limited tow capacity for the car. It's time to check out the back seat. You can open the side doors with the key fob, both sides. That's nice, fully electrical. And as you see, there is a lot of room. Let's jump in and check. You need to climb into the car. I'm not used to that, so it's even higher. The floor is very high compared to regular cars. But as you see, there is a lot of room in here. You can slide the back bench forward to create some extra room in the boot. But this is the most spacious level, so the seats are all the way to the back. So you see the legroom is really good. There is no problem whatsoever, and it doesn't matter how tall you are. So for me, really good amount of legroom, a lot of headroom, 2 fists of extra headroom. You can adjust the backrest position by pulling this lever and have it more forward leaning, but this is the most laid back position. Maybe a bit too laid back. This feels perfect. You have adjustable headrests, very soft and well cushioned, and a pocket for storing your phone together with a table on both positions at the back. So a cup holder and a tray, I don't know, for consuming some candy or food. But it gives you that extra buzz feeling. Buzz. We can close the door by pressing this button inside. Then I get my door panel, and in the doors on both sides there is a USB-C port and a tray for storing your phone and charging it. So that's great. Something I miss is air vents. So there is no extra air vents at the back. The only ones available is the air vents in the footwells. They seem to be pretty big, and the airflow from the front will probably be able to travel above the front driver and the passenger. But I guess it will take time to cool down the back seat in very hot weather. So let's have a look at the front seat. It's a lot of components taken from the other ID cars. For instance, the steering wheel is exactly the same with these haptic touch buttons, the same layout, the same size, the screen. This is the 12-inch screen though, so a bit bigger than in my ID.3, and I think that's really good because it's needed. And by the way, 10-inch screen is the standard screen on the ID.BUZZ, so this is extra equipment. That also goes for the interior trims. So the color scheme is called Mistral and Green. So you have this green inlay details combined with this light microfiber fabric on the seats. Also, something to note is that this is the comfort seats. So power seats with memory and lumbar support, but also the thigh support. That's perfect for you guys or girls with long legs that need a good support. So for me, the driving and seating position is great because I get a perfect support from the thigh support, and the height of the seat really makes it comfortable for longer trips. That's great for tall people. The interior as such is very light and airy, high roofline, really spacious front part here. So I can't even reach the front windshield. I'm not used to that. So a very big area at the front, a nice looking and tidy dashboard with some hard touch materials. So one thing with ID.BUZZ is, and I think that goes for a lot of cars in this segment, there's not the same kind of luxury materials in the interior, so it's most equipped with hard touch plastics. So hard touch almost everywhere. This is looks like oak or something, but it feels like regular plastic. This is not aluminum, it's plastic, hard plastic. So everywhere you touch is hard plastic. There is a good amount of cushioning inside this armrest, so that's soft at least. Otherwise, it's hard plastic everywhere. One good thing though that also comes with the comfort seats is this armrests. You feel like a bus driver, because the great thing is that you have armrests at both sides, so it's really comfortable. One of the best setups when it comes to armrests I have ever tried and experienced in a vehicle. So very comfortable seats, nice driving position, adjustable neck rest, so you can adjust it height-wise, not in the X-axis, only Y-axis, but still well cushioned and supportive, so that's good. And a mid tray with storage. There's like a drawer where you can store some cans of soda, for instance, and also some small storing compartment here in the front for storing cables, etc. Small things. This is also detachable, so let me show you. You can detach it and take it with you. Let's have a look at the steering wheel, a classic ID steering wheel, the same in all of the ID cars. Haptic feedback buttons. To the left on the steering wheel you have a cluster of buttons for driving assistance, so we can set the travel assist functionality here, and that's the function that keeps you in the lane and also keeps the speed and is traffic aware. To the right you have media control, volume, you have the voice control, and also a view selector, so you can actually choose which view on this small instrument cluster of 5.3 inch you want to focus on. So for instance, now the 60% of the screen is covered by the driving functionality or the drive aid system, and to the right you have state of charge, speedometer, etc. You can make it split in three, and you have consumption information or trip information to the right. When you activate navigation, you will also get a navigation part here, so you can choose if you want to have the navigation as a bigger part or a smaller part. I think it's rather small, I mean 5.3 inch, but still big enough. You get the information you need. Maybe some more customization would have been great, but still size-wise it's good. It fits good in between. You always see it since it's attached on the column of the steering wheel, so it comes with the steering wheel all the time. A Qi charger placed conveniently just to the right of the steering wheel, and that's also paired with two USB-C ports. That's smart, so if you don't have any Qi functionality on your current phone, you can connect it to one of the USB ports. Two buttons, one to the left and one to the right, and that's for operating the big side doors, and in the middle kind of a child lock system. The rear windows in the doors are not possible to open, so the only windows that's possible to open in the ID.BUZZ is the two windows at the front. Let's have a look at the software. Looks exactly the same layout as in the all other ID series, for instance the ID3 or ID4. This is running ID version 3.2, and when I'm saying ID, it always tries to start the voice recognition system. So here you see it, 3.2.0. So there is a couple of news and updates compared to my old version. So let's look at some changes and updates to the software. For instance, the Klima. There you have something called Smart Climate. Smart functions like defog windows, warm my feet, warm my hands, cool my feet, fresh air, rapid heating, rapid cooling, etc. So that's like shortcuts and makes it more easy to do stuff than manually like trying to adjust the climate. You also have something called air care, and that's using the pollen filters. I think it's a HEPA filter integrated in the car. If you are pollen allergic, you can activate this function to clean the air inside the cabin. And whilst checking the climate, there is steering wheel heater and also seat heating in both front seats, no seat heating in the back, up connect. Now I haven't connected my phone just to interrupt or interfere with my demo here, but there is wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Works very good. I have been using it a lot, so great integration and nice to have it wirelessly. Otherwise, there is not much to see in the menu system. This ID.BUZZ is equipped with the premium package, so it includes ambient lighting, so you can choose between 30 different colors. It's time to test drive the ID.BUZZ. I've placed the camera far away, probably the longest distance to me as I have ever tried. The interior is so big, and the front windshield and the side windshields in the front are impossible to reach. Let's start to drive on some gravel and bumpy road with potholes and see how the suspension behaves, and also to feel the noise level. It's a regular steel suspension, but as usual, Volkswagen knows how to calibrate suspensions. That also goes for the ID.BUZZ. I think it handles this nicely. No missed sounds, no strange sounds at all. Everything seems normal and comfortable. But you feel that this is a high car. You sit very high up, even higher than a SUV, and it is a bus-like feeling, but in a good way. I like it. It is not every day I drive a bus, but it did pass the gravel test. That's good. Let's take it on some regular roads and see how it feels and behaves. Let's check the drive modes. There is different drive modes: Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Individual. When it comes to the individual mode, you can set different things. You can customize the individual mode, and there's different categories: driving dynamics, steering, drive, ACC, light assistance, and air conditioning. So you can set every setting manually. So let's start with the Eco mode and see how it behaves. So Eco mode seems to be set to comfort on steering, the drive, and that's probably the drive unit and acceleration. It's set to Eco, ACC Eco, and air conditioning also Eco. You feel that it's not that responsive on the accelerator as in the other modes, but that's how it should be, so that's fine. I think the steering wheel is not too soft even on comfort. I think it's nice. It's a nice resistance in the steering wheel. Reminds me a lot of the ID.3, of course, because the interior is very look-alike. It's the same powertrain. So it's, if you're used to the ID series, you will have a wonderful time and easy learning curve. Let's switch mode to comfort. You can see the difference. So comfort, all the settings is set to comfort in that driving mode. Of course, makes sense. It's a bit more responsive on the accelerator, so you feel the power a bit more. It's really set to comfort in all aspects. I'm really not used to the long travel distance in the suspension, so you really feel that it is a high car, it's a big car. It behaves totally different from regular cars. So let's see if I feel the difference in acceleration between Eco and Comfort. Yeah, when I press the accelerator to a maximum, there is a very big difference in how the car responds. So it really limits the torque. Let's try Sport mode. So now everything is set to Sport. Even the light assistance, I don't know what that even means. What is light assistance, sport, and comfort? Don't know. Need to look that up. I really like that Volkswagen is using the individual mode. My favorite settings for individual mode is driving dynamics sport, steering sport. You can set the drive to eco and the air conditioning to eco if it's not too hot outside, for instance. Then you still get a little bit of a sportier drive and not too soft, but still save some energy when it comes to air conditioning, etc. So I think the individual mode, if you set it to your preferences, that's the mode to use. If you're new to the car, use eco, I guess, because it's not about 0 to 100 times in this car. The turning radius is really good. I mean, the wheels, first off, the wheels, there is no overhang at all, so the wheel axles are really set as far out on the car as possible, which makes it really easy to control, and you get a good turning radius. And on top of that, it's only rear wheel drive, and that makes it even easier. So it's easy to maneuver on small spaces, even if it feels like a big car. And I mean, it's high and it's wide, but it's not that long. A lot of sedans or big family cars are almost 20 centimeters longer than this one, so the length is not a problem. I fit it into my garage without any problem at all. There is two different modes, and this goes for all of the ID series cars, and you actually change that on the gear selector or the drive mode selector. So there is one drive mode called D for regular drive, and then you have something called B, stands for regenerative braking. I always drive it on B because that gives maximum available regen. On D, it's more like driving it without regen at all, just coasts. Maybe on long trips, D will make sense, but city driving or driving in dense traffic, set it to B mode. I always use B mode on my ID.3, and I probably would use the same mode on the ID.BUZZ. I mean, it's not that aggressive anyway, since it's only rear wheel drive and it doesn't come to a full stop. Let's see. Yeah, so it will keep rolling at like 5 kilometers per hour. But it's still a good amount of regen, I think. I mean, the motor is a small motor and it's only driving on the rear axle. Despite its weight, it still gives you a decent amount of regen. So that was the driving. So now we have looked at the exterior, interior, the media system, and also the driving experience of the ID.BUZZ Pro Edition. This is a fully spec'd ID.BUZZ. So the price point is 770,000 Swedish crowns for this specific car with a lot of extras, and that's 72,000 euros. The starting price is 64,000 euros or 680,000 Swedish crowns. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's not that expensive if you compare it to the other ID cars. I mean, you can get a ID.3 for almost 600,000 or 550,000 Swedish crowns. So the difference is not that big, but the size difference and the practicality of this car is a whole nother level. So I think the battery size could have been bigger to give this car a bit of a more range. 500 kilometers would have been great. I am going to do a range and consumption test, but that's another video, so stay tuned for that one. I'm also going to sleep in the car, not this night, but tomorrow, to try that out and see how that goes. So let's see about that. Otherwise, I think this is a great car. the most positive thing for me is the exterior looks. It looks really great. It's a happy car. It also like emits and reflects happiness to people watching it, because a lot of people like the design. It is iconic. It's comfortable to drive. It's very easy to drive, especially if you're used to the other ID cars in the ID series. So that's my full review of the ID.BUZZ. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.